What was that I just saw on the screen? What is up, everybody? This is Caleb with Gamerfaith.com. Before we start, I'd like to give a shout out to a couple of little baby YouTube channels. That sounded really condescending. I don't mean it that way. But for some new YouTube channels, it's really hard starting out on YouTube. And since our mission, we're brothers and sisters in the same ministry and the same battle, so I like to do shout outs for these new channels that seem to be putting out awesome content that glorifies God. So first off, go subscribe to Brother Jackie's channel over at Once Upon a Church. Link in the description. He's got a lot of great vlog material. He goes a lot of places cooler than places I go. So yeah, go check him out. Also check out Brother Cody's channel, and I would tell you what his channel name is, but it's such a channel infant that he doesn't even have an official name for it yet, but that doesn't mean anything because I went over and checked, and he actually just put out a video on depression. So it's kind of cool. I was about to make this video on depression, checked my comments, saw something from him. It led me to one of his videos. He's doing it on the same topic, but he's going a different angle. And in his video, he shares a lot of Bible verses. So I encourage you to check that out in the description. Also, I'm not going to be sharing a lot of Bible verses in this video. Not to say that that's not super important, but because it absolutely is. But I'm just going to try to move through a few other things really quick. Also, for those of you that are dying to know, yes, this is a Larry Boy t-shirt. And yes, some of my hair is gone. So I'm making this video on depression because this is actually something that I've been struggling with myself, and God has been working on me, and I believe during my fight that God led me to watch a sermon series by John Piper with Desiring God called When I Don't Desire God. So I'll try to put that in the description also. It's a lot more detailed than what I'm going to go into, so check that out. That's like hours of sermons and episodes, This is going to be a really short, compacted version of a few things I want you to consider if you're fighting with depression or struggling to have joy. So first, I want to make sure you guys know most of these points, if not all, are variations of stuff that are in that John Piper video. So he shared a lot of these ideas, but I believe these are a lot of global ideas with, biblical reasoning behind them, and I encourage you to consider them. So first thing I'm going to say is that you guys should recognize that joy is a gift from God, I believe, and there's so many places in the Bible where it calls you to be joyful. And true joy, I believe, is finding satisfaction in God. The second thing that I'm going to say is to kill the sin that's in your life. So that might sound really brutal and metal, but all I'm saying is if you've got an addiction to pornography, that you should rip its face off. Whatever your addiction may be, find a way to fight against it with all you have. We have a lot of videos on different topics, depending on different sorts of things that you might be struggling with. I encourage you to fight that. You will feel better when you're fighting it, and you can overcome it with God's help. You can do that. You just have to sometimes put your feet down and work hard at it, and it's not always easy. That's just the way that it is, but most of the stuff, or a lot of the stuff that's the most worthwhile, isn't easy. So keep fighting, and let us know if you need prayer in the comments below. And if you have any specific addictions, you can leave a comment below. We might have a video on that topic, or I'm sure there's other Christian channels who have videos on that topic. The Bible also is full of answers about these things, so make sure to look there. Number 3 is realize that you are fighting to see God for who He really is. So if you're not finding satisfaction or joy in God, it's because you're not seeing God for how glorious He is. Not that we even possibly can, but be fighting to get a more real picture for who he is. And when we find our joy in ourselves, it's not satisfying because ourselves let down. But when we find our joy in God, he's eternal and he is where it's at. So be fighting to see God for his true nature and for who he really is and how awesome and loving and glorious and gracious he is. Number 4, keep reading your Bible. Read your Bible, read your Bible, read your Bible. We have a lot of videos on this. I suggest installing the YouVersion app on your phone if you haven't already, or you can do old classic style here and get your highlighter out and go to the plow. We have Bible study hangouts on this channel for you to check out. We plan to have more of those. Oh my word, I'm falling apart over here. We plan to make more of those in the future. Find ways to study the Bible. There's ways to listen if you don't like reading, etc., etc. More on that topic probably later and in other videos. Next is keep praying. I could go on and on about this one too. I want to throw out there something John Piper said that kind of stuck out to me. He prays IOUs, IOUS, and that stands for incline my heart to you, not to prideful gain or any false motive. That's the I. Open my eyes to behold wonderful things in your word. That's the O. You unite my heart to fear your name. And S, satisfy me with your steadfast love. And going down in descending order there, he also provides these verses: Psalm 119:36, Psalm 119:18, Psalm 86:11, and Psalm 90:14. So check those out if you want to look at those and get some more detail on all of that. Number 6 on my list is spend time with God-saturated people. Super important to be spending time with other people who are passionate about God. Surround yourself with that. It makes a huge difference. It really does. 7, be patient if it's seeming like God may be absent. I suggest you do all of these other things, obviously, but also be patient in those times. Keep fighting. Sometimes it's a matter of keep praying, keep pushing at it, and you'll begin to feel better in the future a lot of times. Now, this next one has a special place in my heart, number 8 here. I think this might be it for a lot of you, and I think a lot of times we are so inclined to look so deep into things, not to say we shouldn't, and absolutely do all those other things on the list first, but I was finding that one of the biggest contributors to why I wasn't having joy was actually the fact that I wasn't getting proper rest, proper diet, proper exercise. I feel better when I lift weights and I lift heavy. I feel better, when I have high protein meals and eat cleaner. I just do. I feel better when I get sleep. If you don't do those things, you can basically anticipate that you're going to feel groggy, you're going to feel depressed, you're going to feel bad about yourself, you're going to have little motivation. There's something to be said for the way that God designed us, and it's very humbling that we have to sleep a third of our life, but that's who we are. We need to be humbled. We serve a God who doesn't need to sleep. We're creations. We do need to sleep, and if we don't, we're bound to be grumpy. So pay attention to God's design there, and if one of those elements has slipped out and you're just kind of like, yeah, that can't be it, it's much deeper than that, I encourage you to at least try to go at it full throttle and try to do the hard work to do those healthy things, because I've started lifting again and I feel so much better and so much more optimistic, and I would encourage you guys to find your thing and do the same thing. Maybe it's running for you, I don't know, whatever it may be. I encourage you to go for it. Number 9 is kind of like that. Spend time outside. How are you going to do this? I don't know if I have a whole lot of good suggestions. I walk a lot of places, but that's sort of out of necessity. A lot of you guys probably aren't just going to go outside and start walking around. If you have, a reason to go out and go on a walk or a nice place, that's a good way to do it. Or find some other outdoor activity to do. And I bet you'll start feeling better once you get that sunshine on you and all that stuff. Number 10, read great Christian books. John Piper suggested reading like autobiographies of great Christian men. I gotta be honest, this is not something that I've done myself, so that recommendation isn't from me. That's certainly not to say it's not a good one. I would throw out there, sort of related to books, and I do read Christian books. I'd say the Bible is way more important. Do that first, but I'm going to throw in there listening to Christian music too. I find that it is uplifting to me to listen to praise music, to listen to good Christian music. It just is. It's uplifting. It gets you thinking, gets your mind in the right place a lot of times. If you're in the car, I encourage you to listen to that. I also encourage you, if you have long commutes and it's safe for you to have your headphones in or whatever, listen to long sermons. Find preachers that you like and listen to, the hour-long sermons or whatever else. I find that is super awesome for getting my mind and my heart just set in the right place for the day. Oftentimes I do that during my morning commute to work/school/work again. So yeah, find a place to do that, and I would encourage you to do that. The last thing on my list, number 11, is to get a vision for helping others, maybe specifically globally, for the cause of Christ. Now, a lot of people neglect to do this, and they say, maybe like, oh, I don't have to do that, or whatever else. By no means am I saying, buy your way into heaven by contributing this or that. We need the grace of Christ, we need his sacrifice. So I'm not getting into all that, but the fact of the matter is, one of the easiest things that you can do to serve God is by giving money. I mean, I go to SamaritansPurse.org. I'll also try to remember to link that one in the description. Samaritan's Purse is awesome. They have all these great Christian causes. It's fantastic, and it's so easy. If you can humble yourself and realize all this money is from God, besides that, it's not like you're doing God a favor. The fact of the matter is, if you joyfully give, and this isn't why we give, but God rewards us back, definitely. And I encourage you guys to really put your heart in there and start getting passionate about all these things, because there are struggling people all over the world, and there are people that are, missionaries and stuff going out there to help these people, and part of that is money. So if you're not, doing that, I encourage you to do that. It personally is something that I've found to be incredibly helpful in my own life, incredibly helpful in keeping my mind and heart in the right place. And you know what? I don't miss any of that money. I really don't. I can't think of an instance where, I've had a need financially and God hasn't met it. He's really been there for me, and I appreciate that so much. I couldn't do it without him. So I encourage you guys to have the faith to do that also. So that's my short list. Once again, check out those other videos by John Piper if you want more details. There's also an article online listing these and more types of things. If you're struggling with depression, I hope you feel better soon. I encourage you to try these things. Leave a comment below if you want prayer. I also pray generally over the Gamerfaith community anyways, but head over to the Gamerfaith website if you want to talk to people in our community more specifically and in more detail. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and hopefully I will see you guys this coming Saturday for our live event, where it's a Q&A where we answer questions about sex, lust, pornography, masturbation, all of those things. So if you have questions about that, you can leave them in the comments of this video, or leave them over there, or send me a private message on the Gamerfaith.com website, message me on Facebook, whatever it may be, and I look forward to having that hangout with you guys. I hope it helps a lot of you guys out. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you all next time. So I'm making this video on depression because this is something that I've actually been